Hey guys, it's Jordan with day 21 of my 30-30-30 challenge. And it's basically a challenge to complete 30 art journal pages in 30 days in 30 minutes each. And I've been doing it for the past 20 days, obviously. And if you're a follower of my blog, you've probably seen a lot of these pages. But something that I actually did is I went through and I added tabs to all of them. Every single page has a tab with the date on it, and for me, that is just amazing. It looks cool to me. I think it looks interesting, and it's different, and I'm actually working with a type of addition to my own style, and you might be getting some more updates on that in the very near future. But today I'm just going to work on this page, and I actually just cut out, this was a painted piece of cardstock that I actually did beforehand, and I'm not going to count that into my 30 minutes because I don't remember how long it took. It was a while ago. So I'm just using this as my background to add on top of. I'm actually going to be using some leftover watercolor paints that I have in my palette here. I was making a color wheel earlier today. This is actually kind of a sneak peek to one of the workshops that I'm going to be doing. I've been working on it quite a bit lately, and this is kind of like a little sneak peek for you guys. So yeah, I'm going to be using the leftovers from that on this page. And I'm just going to get started here. I don't really have any idea what I'm going to do yet, but I'm taking some red watercolor paint, and I'm just going to add it around the edges. And I guess it's not really red. I guess it was like a mix of, like, I think it might be like a red violet or something. But I'm just going to add it around the edges. I'm going to add a fairly thick border. Okay. And now I'm going to go back here. Something else that I've been working on is this little box, and these are all the things that I can use to make circles with. That is something new for me. I normally have a lot of ideas for circle stuff, so I just thought it'd be interesting to have like that. Here's a little found stamp type thing that I have, and I'm going to use that to make some circles. I've decided that, I think I've mentioned it before on the blog, that circles keep reappearing in my work no matter what I do. So I've decided that I'm not going to work against it, and I'm just going to let what happens happen, because that really is the way I work anyways. But sometimes if I see too much of the same thing keep reappearing, it makes me want to stop using it. But what I've decided is I just need to find new ways of incorporating circles into my work, because I do love them so much. It just adds like a graphic element to any page, and I think it just works really well with the way that I work my layers. I think that it just works well. I'm actually going to just go up into a corner here. I'm going to leave just the very corners untouched. And as you can see with these pages, I work extremely quickly. I don't stop to think about what I'm doing in particular. I'm going to come over here. Just got like a piece of newspaper that I've been working on, and I'm going to pick up some of that left over, help it kind of dry a bit faster. I'm going to come in with a True Blue Portfolio oil pastel, and I'm going to just go around the inside of these circles. And I'm just going to do it very quickly. I'm not going to be very careful about this at all. I'm almost never careful about what I do in my work, because I just like the way that it looks a lot better. Because in my opinion, if you have a whole bunch of messy layers on top of one another, it ends up looking unique and different from everybody else's work. So next thing I'm going to do is I think take my purple. This is not purple, this is blue. I don't want blue. I want purple. Okay. I'm going to take purple. And once more I'm going to put that, but this time around the outside. And what I'm trying to do is I'm actually trying to pull in colors from the original background, since I did cover up so much of it with the watercolor. So there's that. And then I think what I'm going to do is do something like this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my white once more. I don't need to take more. I'm going to take a paintbrush and use the white on this stamp here that I carved from an eraser. I'm actually going to go all along the top edge, I think. Overlapping with the other layers and just kind of giving it just that layer of depth pattern. Okay. Now, I don't know if I like that much, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the entire thing with white paint. Then I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to wipe some of that away. And I'm going to repeat that over the entire background. And I'm going to actually start out by rubbing some of it around the edges first and then kind of dabbing it to add some texture. And then I'll go into the middle. And I'm actually going to come back with the violet and re-emphasize those circles that were there. I think what I really wasn't liking was the darkness of the border that I added. I didn't realize what it was. Okay, I'm going to come back with the blue as well. And what I love about these portfolio oil pastels is that they really stand out. They have a lot of color and they are extremely enjoyable to work with. Okay. So I've got that. And now I'm going to look at some photos I have over here. I cut these out from magazines, and I've been using photos a lot in this journal, a lot more than I do normally. Like, just in the layers of the collage, almost every page has a magazine photo on it, or something similar. So, I'm kind of trying to keep that consistent throughout the book. And I just had an idea. As soon as I get the photo that I want, I kind of really like this one, just for the page itself. And it kind of covers up some of it. And I kind of want some of this background to be showing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper trimmer and I'm just going to cut a little bit off of each side. So now it's kind of a tall and narrow picture, and I might cut a little bit off the top, so it's a little more confined. And I don't know if I like that, so... Oh, okay, I have an idea. So what I can do, I'm going to trim a little bit off the bottom, because the bottom, I don't mind the bottom as much as I do the top. I kind of like the top being there. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space in between. Just kind of like that. And then I'm going to take some Elmer's School Glue and put it in my palette. Sorry if you hear a vibrating, that's my phone. It's going crazy. It's like in my lap right now. It's just like vibrating like crazy. I'm going to take a brush. I'm going to pick some of the glue up. And I'm going to apply it to the back of this photo. And as you can see, if I mess something up, I kind of continue on and try to continue on like nothing happened. And I just try and think creatively. Like, I didn't like the way it looked with the top cut off, so I just put it back on when I collage. You know, if you are, then just use some creative cropping or gluing or whatever. You know, I didn't really like the way that the color around the edge looked, so I added white on top. You know, I like to think that I'm kind of more intuitive, like, when it comes to that, instead of trying to think about every step before I do it. I just like the way that my stuff turns out if I go with the flow and go with my intuition instead of trying to think everything through beforehand. So there's that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a title. And the titles are different every time. Just throw my phone a little bit. I don't even know. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why I do some of the things I do. I just threw my phone away. I don't know. I'm going to take this magazine. I'm just going to start flipping through. I'm trying to look for words that stand out at me. And I'll just tear them out when I see them. Oh, that's a really good picture. And I'll show you what I do here in a minute. I don't really know, I don't go into these pages with an idea in mind beforehand. So I kind of have to come up with unique ways to come up with titles and themes for the pages. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the words that originally stood out to me. Like here it says mood, mystery, beauty. So I'm going to cut them out individually. Here, this very top part that says the return of a friend, that stood out to me, so I'm going to cut that out. And I'm actually going to cut out each word individually. So instead of just cutting out in a block like this, I'm actually going to cut it. Sometimes I will keep a whole block of words, and those words will be the title. But that block of words in particular did not stand out to me. It was the words inside of it. And here, it was just the word house. And I think it also had a lot to do with the font. I love this font. It's really cool. I'll show you here in a second. I just think it's a really interesting font. So there we go. A house of mystery. I just rearranged the words. I mixed them within the confines of what I had chosen, and it had called out to me. And I have a title that I believe to be interesting and have a very good jumping off point for journaling, which is something else that I've really been trying to incorporate into this journal. This stuff there. Sometimes if I lay stuff down on top of where glue has already been, that's what'll happen. But I'm just trying to decide how I want to arrange it. That's kind of how I pictured it. So I'm going to come back in with my brush and the glue. And this is just Elmer's School Glue. I think I said that before. And I use it basically like Mod Podge. I don't water it down or anything. I tried watering it down once, but I didn't like the consistency of it. It didn't turn out as well. But the consistency of it just normally is extremely similar to Mod Podge, in my opinion. And it has the same effect, except it's extremely matte when it dries, but nothing ever comes up. And I like the matte finish. For me personally, the matte finish is, it just complements my work a bit better. Okay, there's that. And now I'm going to decide what I want to do for the journaling. And I pretty much use the same process for all of these pages. I use the same steps where I paint the background intuitively, then I add the photo, the title, and then the journaling. And then it's done. That's how I have been able to tie the journal together, almost. I'm actually just going to spray a little bit of glimmer mist over the top of this, just because I saw it sitting there and I thought it looked cool. And I'm going to pick some of it back up. The color is Viva Pink. I know it's backwards. Sorry about that. That's my webcam. What I'm going to do now is try and find a credit card. I lose those so easily. They just disappear on me. So what I'm going to do instead, because I can't seem to find it, is use my palette knife, the edge of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some paint on the very edge and then stamp. And I almost like this better than the effect I would have gotten with the card. So there's that. So I just added a few lines for journaling. And I'm actually just going to add a little bit of the blue all the way around, just to kind of further tie everything together. Just pick a little bit more up, add it to the very edge. In some pages, I'll make it go extremely deep into the page, like I'll overlap with the photo, I'll go really deep into the photo. But for this page, I just think it'd be better if it's just like a little tiny border around. I think it's enough to tie everything together, but not overwhelming, as some of the pages can get to be sometimes when I do that. Sometimes they become overwhelming, and sometimes it really complements them. A page where it actually really complements it, let me show you here. One of the pages where I believe that it really complemented it to go really deep into the photo was in this page. I think it really complemented it. Oh, there's my phone again. You can probably hear that. It's because it's on a hard surface and it bumps. A lot of them are just Facebook updates and stuff. People poke me. Stuff like that. So. And I think one of my friends is texting me. Yeah, she is. Okay. So there's that. And I'm going to pretty much finish it off. Kind of finish. I'm going to do this, go like this here. I'm going to get the rest of that off of there, just, and it kind of like makes it like that, kind of bumpy almost, which I'm okay with. I think it looks cool. So what I'm going to do now is just add the final touches. I need my Faber-Castell Artist Pen. I use the brush tip in black. I tried using the smaller ones, but it kept trying to clog them, so I left it alone. So I'm just going to add a few words of journaling here. And I normally just do this off the top of my head. I don't think at all. Okay. And there's that. And I normally will brush this a little bit off just to make sure there's no paint on it to dry on there and ruin it. Okay, the last touch. Finishing touches. I need a little bit of purple paint. Well, maybe not purple. Paint. How about a purple? Or blue portfolio. That works too. I was trying to get purple. I get the blue and the purple mixed up sometimes because they kind of look the same when I'm in a hurry or just kind of 24 minutes. Okay, good. Okay. I'm just kind of like filling in the blank spots there. And what I'm going to do, decide where to put this. Okay. This is a tab. Just adding the tabs in there now so I don't have to worry about it later. Okay, that's not wanting to come out right this second, so I'll just use the stuff that I have in here already. And you just paint all over it, all over the tab. Then come in where you want it. And you go, okay. You glue it together. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marker again, and I'm going to finish up the journaling that I kind of covered over. And I'm going to overlap it there. And then I'm going to put the date. It's July 1st, 2012. So I just add the date on there, and it's done. This is the finished page for my 30-30-30 journal challenge. And I basically use the same step-by-step overview for the entire thing, but the pages end up being a lot different. They work together because they have a similar style, but they don't look identical. So that is how I've been doing my 30-30-30 journal, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.